this episode of Long Lost Family.
I remember growing up knowing there was a big sister out there that would love me more than words could say. Oh my God.
The joyous tale of a sister found after almost 20 years.
I have a huge heart and there's a nice comfy space in there for you.
And the touching story of a father found after 25 years apart from his daughter.
It's a bit to digest, isn't it? On Long Lost Family, we often talk about loved ones who were separated at birth. But sometimes the searchers have grown up with a lost person, perhaps playing together as children, and the memory of them seems like a ghost from the past. That's the story of the people you're about to meet. For 20-year-old Chantel Tolley, this graveyard in Cairns, far north Queensland, is her cathartic place. She comes here to find closure about her mother who passed away nearly 4 years ago.
I just saw this tree and it was beautiful and I just sat down in front of it, and ever since then I just come here whenever I feel lonely, or sometimes if I feel like I just need to have a cry, or if I feel like no one will listen, I'll sit here and talk to myself.
Sadness seems to surround Chantel about her troubled childhood. After Chantel, her parents had 2 more children together. But not long after her twin sisters were born, their mum, Sharon, moved out of home.
2 years old, mum left foster care in 2006, and then school was hell. I got into drugs and I got into the alcohol and I got into the boys. Mum was a weird person. She would bond with you 1 minute and then break you down the next minute.
Chantel says her relationship with her father has also been difficult. And although her younger sisters are still close to him, Chantel feels a responsibility to watch over her siblings. What Chantel desperately yearns for is someone to watch over her. She now pins her hopes on a girl she can vaguely remember having playdates with when she was very young. That girl she desperately wants to find is her missing half-sister Ellen, her mother's eldest daughter.
Ellen is 6 years older than me. I remember running around her dad's house. Somehow my dad and her dad had managed to become really good Revhead friends.
But suddenly, the playdate stopped and Ellen disappeared from Chantel's life. Over the years, Chantel has searched for Ellen on social media, but she has had no luck.
It was like having a ghost sister. She was there, but she wasn't. And I guess there was that possibility that sometime at some point there's going to be this person who just comes out of nowhere and is like, hey, I'm your big sister. And guess what? I'm going to take all of the worries away.
It wasn't until after her mother's death in 2012 that Chantel discovered photos of her half-sister.
When I found this stuff, it was pretty shocking. My mum always told us that she didn't have anything, so...
With them was Chantel's most precious possession, Ellen's baby identification bracelet.
So this little wristband is the one that you get from the hospital when you're born, and this one is Ellen's, so they mean a lot. There's a sister out there and I love her to death. It might have been 20 years, but I still love her. I don't know who she is or what she's like, but I still love her. I want to be important to someone. Someone tell me that I'm pretty. Someone to remind me that my life is precious. Finding Ellen would be the best thing that's ever happened to me, like best milestone of my life.
In the search for Chantel's big sister Ellen, investigator Julia Robson has a head start. Although Chantel was just a toddler when she last saw Ellen, she can give Julia her sister's full name and date of birth. With this crucial information, Julia is able to quickly locate an Ellen Nowlin in South Australia. Julia sends a letter to Ellen's address, but several weeks pass without a response.
Hi, Chrissy. Look, I haven't heard from her, so I'm a little worried she's not looking for a reconnection.
But Julia refuses to give up and expands her search for Ellen. Remarkably, Julia finds a listing for a garage sale Ellen is holding, but at a completely different address. When we contact Ellen again at her new house, she responds immediately. Finally, Chantel's sister has been found. After the break,
I've always wondered if someone would want to braid my hair.
Chantel's memories melt her big sister's heart.
I've always remembered your face, the smell of your house, the giant fig tree. Oh my God.
And later,
The bottom line was that she agreed. She couldn't even afford to run a car, let alone buy one.
arguments over money separate a father and daughter for more than 2 decades.
I just put my hands in the air and said, bugger you both, don't want anything from you. We're going to pay for it all ourselves.
On Long Lost Family, we're helping 20-year-old Chantel Tolley search for her half-sister Ellen, the big sister she hasn't seen since they played together as little girls. We traced 25-year-old Ellen to a coastal town near Adelaide. She was only 3 months old when her mother and father's relationship ended and her father Michael became her primary carer. Together, they moved from Queensland to South Australia when Ellen was 12.
No, I didn't have mum. It was always me and dad. When I've gone sad or lonely or upset and I need someone to talk to, dad's there. No, dad's been there for everything. In my ups, my downs, my explosive outbursts, my I want to cry in the corner, roll up indoor ball. You know, dad is my rock. You know, he's my world.
These days, Ellen is looking after 2 children of her own, but she remains very close to her dad. Ellen and Chantel haven't seen each other since they were both little girls, when Ellen's dad moved her away. Chantel is desperate to make that connection with her big sister, but what about Ellen in all of this? Will she even be interested in hearing from someone from her mum's side of the family? Chantel never had a big sister. She's always thought of you and wondered if you were sort of the answer, you know, the missing link in her life. How does that feel?
I'm excited, but I'm kind of worried and nervous at the same time. It's kind of a bit nerve-wracking, actually.
Had you met Chantel before, do you think?
When I was younger, I think her dad brought her over for like a quick visit. That's the last thing I remember of my sister.
And you have the same mum. What do you remember of your mum?
The last thing I remember of mum is when I was 18, I contacted her because she left me when I was 3 months old. I contacted her to find out why she left me, and all she could say was at the time I wasn't what she wanted. I wasn't a male, you know, I wasn't a male child, I was female.
That's a tough thing to hear from a woman that had disappeared from your life. How did that feel?
I felt betrayed. then like I wasn't worth anything. I'm hoping that Chantel didn't go through the same thing, hoping that Mum was good to Chantel, sort of, and gave her a little bit more extra love, but you know, you never know.
Do you want to see a photo of Chantel?
Yeah,
I have one. I
you,
do.
cool,
Yes.
yes.
There she is.
Wow. Oh my God. Wow, that is really trippy and actually quite extraordinary. She looks similar to Mum, but at the same time she doesn't.
She also said that if we found you, she'd like us to give you a letter that she's written to you, and I've got that too if you'd like to read it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
There you go.
Oh God, I got the shakes.
It's amazing.
I know. Whew. Ellen, I've always remembered your face, the smell of your house, the giant fig tree. Oh my God. And even the time we had a sleepover, I remember growing up knowing there was a big sister out there that would love me more than words could say. Oh my God. I never had a rock, but found myself being a rock instead and felt incredibly alone. I've always wondered if someone would want to braid my hair. We've always talked about braiding our hair all the time. Tell me right from wrong and still support me when I choose the wrong path. I always wondered if that would be you. We've missed out on boy talks and jumping rope together, painting nails and revealing our secrets. I just wish I had a big sister to look after me, and I want a family. I have a huge heart and there's a nice comfy space in there for you. I want to find you because you've always been in my mind, soul and heart. I want the opportunity to have your hand in mine. Take this time and space cannot deny the love I have for you, even though it's been such a long time. We have so much to share, too many secrets, too many smiles, and too many good memories to share. Sincerely love, Chantel. Oh my God. We used to play under that fig tree all the time. Wow, that is like so trippy. Thank you. Thank you.
What a beautiful letter.
Yeah. She's gorgeous. Wow.
A little later, on Long Lost Family, we found your sister. We make Chantel's dream come true.
I'm sorry.
But now, the story of Natalie Ann Young and her father, and how a simple misunderstanding tore them apart.
It's now been more than 2 decades since Natalie Ann has seen her father, and ironically, he can't even remember the reason they fell out in the first place.
Do you want to have a little seat?
Let's sit down here then, eh?
Because that's so pretty.
46-year-old Natalie Ann Young lives in Tamworth, New South Wales, with her partner Grant, who is recovering from skin cancer.
I just love the trees.
But it's here in Melbourne, where she spent her childhood, that she feels most at home.
It was good fun. They were good times.
Even though her parents divorced when she was 10, she still has many happy memories of time spent with her dad.
I was always proud to be Daddy's little girl. Dad taught me how to swim. I'll never forget getting all frocked up and going to dinner on a Saturday. All good stuff and fun stuff. They're just such good memories. They're things that only a dad and daughter can share, and they're just beautiful.
But memories are all that Natalie Ann has, because her father Bill has been missing from her life since she was 21. All because of what she describes as a silly row more than 20 years ago.
The last time that I spoke to my father was back in 91. I was going to be married, I was engaged, and we were organising the wedding, and of course money always comes up around the wedding times, and with my parents being separated, it was who's paying how much, and it just got really, really complicated, really, really horrible. So at the end of it, I just put my hands in the air and said, bugger you both, don't want anything from you, we're going to pay for it all ourselves, and this is just going to be a hell of a lot easier.
So nice in here, isn't it? It's beautiful.
Despite the disagreement about finances, a wedding invitation was sent to Bill. But according to Natalie Ann, this infuriated him. As the father of the bride, he assumed his attendance would be a given.
My father was not impressed at the fact that he got an invitation from his daughter to his daughter's wedding. It erupted a little bit, words were said, and that was pretty much the last time that we spoke. That was like back in 1991.
Ironically, Natalie Ann's marriage never went ahead, so she lost a fiancé and a father. As time passed, Natalie Ann realised just how much she missed her dad, but when she tried to find him, he was gone.
I have driven past his old address to find that he no longer lived there. I rang his last place that I knew that he was employed, but he no longer worked there. And I even went back through some of my old diaries, got them out of storage to look back through the pages to see if there might be something else that would spark my memory, but no good.
Natalie Ann still can't believe that her relationship with her dad ended over what she feels was a silly misunderstanding about a wedding that never went ahead.
I hold no grudges against him for anything that was done or that was said back then. He, at the end of the day, is still my father, I'm still his daughter, and we should still be a part of each other's lives. And I have always believed that.
After the break, Bill sees his little girl again after more than 2 decades apart.
God.
And later, Chantel finally finds her missing big sister. On Long Lost Family, we're helping Natalie Ann Young in the search for Bill, the father she last saw in Melbourne in 1991. Natalie Ann told our investigator, Julia Robson, that Bill no longer lives at his last known address in Melbourne, and that everywhere else she's tried, she's hit a dead end. When Julia searches further, Bill's very common name brings up an extraordinary number of possible matches, so she changes tack and searches instead for Bill's mother, Elvira, because of her unusual name. Scouring state records, Julia sees that Elvira owned a house in Melbourne's north from the 1960s until 2007. Given how long Bill's family, the Youngs, lived at Elvira's house, Julia gets in touch with the neighbours. The locals do remember Bill, and Julia learns that he actually lived there with his wife Lorraine for a period before the house was sold.
Oh, okay, so Bill and his wife Lorraine went to Queensland. Right, okay. Thanks so much. Bye.
With a definite last known address, Julia can now trace Bill and Lorraine as a couple as they move north from Victoria. Following them to Queensland via address listings, Julia confirms that Bill and Lorraine now live in Mission Beach, in the state's tropical far north. Bill is now 72, retired, and enjoys walking along the beach near his home. He used to love doing these walks with his wife Lorraine, but she is now suffering from dementia, and Bill spends most of his time looking after her. I've come to the top of Australia where we've found Natalie's dad, Bill. But more than 2 decades after a heated argument tore them apart, is Bill willing to welcome his daughter back into his life? We know that Natalie Ann believes her separation from her dad was caused by an argument about who was going to pay for her wedding, a wedding that didn't go ahead.
It erupted a little bit. Words were said, and that was pretty much the last time that we spoke.
But I'm keen to find out Bill's side of the story. So what are your memories of why you and Natalie became estranged?
Now I've got to a stage where I can't remember.
Natalie believes there was a big argument around who was going to pay for her wedding.
No.
That's not your recollection?
No, I have no recollection of that. Now, whether that's something I've deliberately somehow shut out of my mind, I don't know. But I remember one discussion I had with Natalie where we had a disagreement on finances. When she wanted me to go guarantor on a motor car for her, back in the days when you needed a guarantor for that sort of thing. And I remember sitting her down and got her to write down on a column all her expenses and on another column what her income was, and the bottom line was that she agreed she couldn't even afford to run a car, let alone buy one. So yeah, there was a disagreement over finances, but I don't recall any discussion about a wedding.
Do you have any regrets?
Yes, of course I do. We've missed so much of each other's lives, being part of each other's lives, the highs and the lows.
So you missed her?
Oh yes. And over a period of years, there were repeated attempts to try and find her.
Bill remembers one specific letter he sent about 10 years ago, hoping to fix the fractured relationship.
But the letter came back no longer this address.
Can you tell me what was in the letter?
No, I wrote that I only had one daughter and she only had one father, and that we needed to talk. We needed to rekindle communication. And unfortunately, when the letter came back, she didn't get to see those words, which is a pity. Because she may have then interpreted that I was closing a door when I wasn't.
Bill, I have a photo of Natalie. Would you like to have a look at it?
Yes. Good God. She's beautiful. Sorry, Anne.
That's okay, Bill. It's natural. You haven't seen your daughter, your little girl.
She's a woman.
She's a woman.
Is she married?
She's not married, but she has a long-term partner. She basically cares for him as you do your wife.
I admire her and respect her for that. Because it's a hell of an ask on anybody. Believe me, I know.
She's also written you a letter.
Has she? Whew. Dear Dad, I've struggled so much on how to open this letter. It's been so long, and I'm not quite sure what to write, as I'd rather be able to tell you in person. I suppose the most important things that I can let you know is that you have always been in my mind and my heart. I wish you happy birthday every Boxing Day. I owe a good deal of the person I am today to you. Always in my thoughts and being Natalie Ann Young. It's a bit to digest, isn't it?
It's a lot to make up for.
There is.
How do you feel knowing that you're going to reunite with your daughter?
Oh, God. Every emotion in the book.
What would you say to her?
That I love her. And I've missed her.
After the break, Natalie Ann, touched by the words of her missing dad.
So much to tell you, so much to hear. Oh, Dad.
Earlier, we found Bill Young in Queensland.
How do you feel knowing that you're going to reunite with your daughter?
Oh, God. Every emotion in the book.
Bill's daughter has been searching for him since he went missing from her life back in 1991. Natalie has spent the best part of 20 years regretting an argument she had with her dad. It was around the time she was getting married, and the two haven't spoken since. To make matters worse, that wedding didn't even go ahead. So she's been full of regret and pain ever since it happened. The good news for Nat is she can let go of that regret. I'm on my way to tell her that we found her dad. Hello.
Hello, Chrissy.
How
How
you
are you,
going?
darling?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Let's
Come
do
in.
this. 2 and a bit decades is a long time to be without your dad. A lot happens in that frame of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Did you just feel like, what a waste?
Yeah, it was a complete mess and a stupid mess. I have one dad in life and he has one little girl. And that means a lot to me.
Well, we have found your dad. He's been looking for you too. Do you want to see a photo?
Oh my God. Oh, wow. He's changed a little bit.
How does that feel to see his face again?
That smile, that moustache and those eyes. This is just amazing.
He is a carer for his wife.
Oh my gosh, we're both full-time carers.
You got lots in common.
Oh, wow.
He's written you a letter as well now. You would like to read it? There you go.
Dear Natalie, It was a really pleasant surprise to receive a letter informing me that you were searching for me, especially as all my exhaustive attempts to find you finished in dead ends. There is such a huge gap in our respective lives, and I now look forward to closing this gap. So much to tell you, so much to love that.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
What does it mean to you to find out that he was excited to receive our call, that he wants to meet you again?
That's so beautiful to hear. Thank you so much.
It's a good day.
It's a brilliant. It's an absolutely brilliant day. Thank you so much. Wow.
We're back in Mission Beach, Queensland. Only a few days after we told Natalie Ann this is where we found her father, Bill. It's here that father and daughter will see each other again for the first time in more than 20 years.
Hello, Ann.
Hello, Bill. Come with me. While Bill and I make our way to a beachside resort for the reunion, Natalie Ann is arriving in nearby Cairns. Natalie's very nervous about meeting you today.
Is she? Well, I suppose I'm nervous too about meeting her. I think when you care, nerves are all a part of it.
As Natalie Ann makes her way to Mission Beach, she's trying to push her nerves aside and focus on the future.
Today is the beginning of a new chapter. A new beginning. And this is the first step towards hopefully recreating something with my father.
Well, she's sort of, she's worried she might disappoint you.
Couldn't disappoint me. Oh, yes, she could. If she wasn't here, I'd be disappointed. But she has nothing to prove to me. She's my daughter.
Well, this is where I say goodbye. Natalie's going to be coming through very soon.
Thanks so much. I'm here. I'm really here.
After over 20 years of not having my dad, there are no words. There are really no words. This is just so past the point of awesome.
There's so much to talk about.
There is.
To have your daughter back after such a long time, it is wonderful to rediscover the little girl you've loved all this time.
I knew you always loved me.
Never stopped. Never will.
I feel like a whole new episode and chapter in my life is about to start.
After the break, Chantel finally has the long-lost family she's always wished for.
I'm an aunt. I have 2 nephews. And I have an older sister, Ellen. Oh my God.
20-year-old Chantel Tolley has spent years searching for her half-sister, Ellen.
It might have been 20 years, but I still love her. I don't know who she is or what she's like, but I still love her.
Long Lost Family has found Ellen living in South Australia.
Oh my God.
And the good news is, she'd love to see Chantel again.
Thank you. Thank you.
For as long as she can remember, Chantel has wished her big sister Ellen was a regular part of her life. Growing up, she really missed not having someone like Ellen to look up to lead the way. Now, I'm about to tell Chantel that we've found Ellen and that her big sister really wants to get to know her again.
Hi, Anne.
Hi, Chantel. Thank you. When's the last time you guys saw each other?
I must have been maybe 2 or 3.
So Ellen is your half-sister?
She's my half sister, yeah. Same mum, different dads.
So the 2 dads would hang out?
Yeah. They'd hang out all the time. We'd like over their house all the time, so.
What did you guys used to do together?
I remember we play hide and seek and, oh my God, and she had all these magnificent toys, and so I was like, oh, I love this thing.
And then what happened?
Yeah, they just had a falling out.
And you never saw your sister again?
Never saw her again.
Must have been tough.
It's pretty hard. You just push on, move on.
Do you ever feel alone?
I feel so alone sometimes.
Is that why Ellen was so important to you?
Yeah. Yeah, Ellen's kind of my one hope.
Well, the thing is, Chantel, we found your sister.
What?
Yeah, we found your sister.
Great. I'm sorry.
Do you want to know what she looks like?
Yes. Of course I do. What kind of question is that?
I have a photo.
Okay. Oh my God. Oh wow. She's beautiful. She has my nose. How did my mom make babies like this?
Well, she's written you a letter.
Okay. Dear Chantel, my name is Ellen. I'm 25 years of age and I have 2 sons. Wow. From what I remember from the last time I saw you when I was a lot younger, you used to bounce on my bed all the time. I remember your gorgeous blonde curls. I'm looking forward to meeting you and getting to know you, and hopefully we'll be family again, as family is everything. Can't wait to meet you, Chantel, but until then, I'll look forward to hearing from you. Kind regards, Ellen. Are you okay?
Yeah, so you have 2 nephews.
I don't want to scream too loud. I'm an aunt. I have 2 nephews. And I have an older sister, Ellen. And she is beautiful. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
I honestly didn't think that she would remember me.
Chantel, you'll get to meet Ellen very soon.
You guys are amazing. Oh my God.
Are you happy?
I am very, very, very happy right now. Like, I'm euphoric.
After the break,
I found this in my mum's stuff after she passed away.
Chantel has a special gift for Ellen.
I can't believe Mum kept it.
Long Lost Family has been helping Chantel Tolley find her half-sister, Ellen.
Finding Ellen would be the best thing that's ever happened to me. Like, best milestone of my life.
Chantel has not seen Ellen since they played together as little girls.
It was like having a ghost sister. She was there, but she wasn't.
Despite that, she's never forgotten her big sister and dreamed of finding her one day. Even though she's always wished she could be reunited with Ellen, now the day has arrived, Chantel is nervous about finally meeting her half-sister.
Last night, I don't think I slept more than 3 hours, nor the night before. I think I'm more nervous about the future, that things might not work out, that we'll meet and we'll just go our separate ways.
Chantel has travelled from Cairns in the Queensland tropics to the vineyards of South Australia's McLaren Vale, close to where her sister lives. Ellen and I are already waiting for her at the Serafino winery. Today is the big day. Finally meeting the baby sister that you weren't even sure you had. You had a vague memory.
Very vague.
Yeah. Turns out she's very real and she's been looking for you forever.
I know, it's kind of shocking actually.
She's so desperate to meet you, Ellen, and if you will have her, she really needs that big sister in her life.
Well, I'm ready to have the little sister I didn't actually get to have. It'd be really great.
Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
This is where I leave you.
Okay.
You go.
Thank you.
Hey, Chantel.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, come for a walk with me. You've been waiting for this a long time, Chantel. How are you feeling?
I'm really, really nervous and excited at the same time.
Any hopes?
Well, I hope I can have a big sister. That's just all I want.
This is where I say goodbye. Your sister is waiting for you just by the tree.
Okay. Thanks, Hi.
Oh my God.
You look just like Mum.
Chantel.
Waited so long for this. Oh my God. I have a big sister.
That's so beautiful.
Thank you. You're amazing too.
When we first met, we actually, just kind of clicked and boomed straight into each other.
Look at you. So grown up. You're so small and scrawny. Little tiny kid running around their house pulling curtains off rods.
Yes, now you're grown up and adult.
Oh my God, what do we even do right now?
Oh my God.
I'm really, really excited. I'm really positive about it now because I was so scared about it before. I was not negative, but just worried. So now I have a reason to be positive and I'm going to follow through with it. This is hard. This is hard. This is hard to look you in the eye and this is so surreal. I can't. I am real. I can touch you. So
going?
I'm fantastic now that I've met my sister.
What surprised me when I met Chantel is that she's so similar and so much like me. You know, we may have two different fathers, the same mum, but we have the same, you know, personality, the same features, the same everything. It's actually amazing.
I found this in my mum's stuff after she passed away.
Chantel has brought something special to the reunion. A treasure that, until today, was Chantel's only link to her big sister.
Wow.
It's Ellen's baby identification bracelet.
I can't believe Mum kept it.
She kept it.
Wow. Thank you. It's okay. It's great. No. Thank you.
I don't know where we go from here. Like, it's making me a little bit breathless thinking about it. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Without a doubt. Oh my goodness, without a doubt.
Next time on Long Lost Family, a mother's sorrow over giving up her baby for adoption.
I didn't see her at all. I didn't hold her. I just put the papers and said, sign here.
And her joy at seeing her child again.
Oh, she's beautiful. Oh, she's lovely.
Also,
No matter what, I am going to give Mum her wish.
a daughter fulfills her mum's dream of finding her other children.
Really?